What is up, everybody? It's your boy here, and I've got a bit of a different one today. So, if you didn't enjoy the series Supernatural, well, then there's probably no point of you watching any further because this is about a prequel that is going to be made. It's going to be called, I don't even know. Oh, it's just going to be called The Winchesters. So, I'm just going to go through this article and just see what we can learn about it. And yeah, try and pick it apart and just see if we can read any spoilers. Well, not spoilers, just information on what they've posted on about it. Gee, that didn't make much sense. So yeah, this is it here. Supernatural prequel, The Winchesters, in works at the CW. So obviously the show place that made Supernatural, from Jensen and Daniel. Ackles, that's bad. So that's Jensen right there. This is, I'm assuming anyone who watches this probably already knows who Jensen is. But if you don't, that's Dean. So he played the brother Dean Winchester in the show Supernatural, obviously. And her, well, I don't know if she played in it. She kind of looks a little bit familiar, but it's been a while since I watched it. So I won't read all of the article. I'll just try and go through and pick apart, what I think feels important or not. I haven't read the article yet, so this is sort of my first reactions to it. So yeah, let's go. So I did read this part. Supernatural, one of the most important series in the history of the CW. I thought that was pretty cool because I didn't know that it was one of the biggest or one of the most important series on the CW, which I'm assuming that's an American like TV channel, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I just didn't know that. Yeah, it'd come back with a new iteration with Prequel, The Winchesters, which is going to be so cool. And as you can see here, it's centered on Sam. So it's centered on Mary and John, which is Dean and Sam's mum and dad. It's the parents, and I'm hoping it actually goes back further and shows us more backstory about the grandparents and stuff too, because we got to see them in the show. So yeah, I'm so excited for it. As soon as I seen it, I'm like, I'm gonna make a video about this. Not that anyone will watch it, but I'm fine with that. So it's now in development, which is cool, which means it might not be as far away as what we think. Now, Dean, Jensen must be a very busy man because he's just currently playing in a series called The Boys as well. So, he's very busy, very, very busy man. Also, it's actually executive produced by Jensen as well. Oh, okay. Also, he'll reprise his character, Dean Winchester character, as a... Oh, cool. So that means they might actually go before the first episode of, well, obviously it'll be before the first episode of Supernatural, but we might get to find out sort of what happens before, and that means we might get to see the family break up a bit, which would be interesting as well. So I'm talking about before Sam goes to college and everything. That will be interesting. That'll be cool. And a narrator on the show. Yeah, okay, cool. And Ackles' wife, Supernatural recurring guest star Danielle. So she was in it. I thought she was in it. So before Sam and Dean, there was John and Mary, told from the perspective of narrator Dean. Oh, cool. So it will be cool. That's going to be awesome. The Winchesters is the epic, untold love story of how John met Mary. Well, we sort of know how that happens. And how they put it all on the line to not only save their love, but the entire world. Okay, so we sort of know how that happens. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's in the Supernatural series, just in case you haven't seen it. Okay, so Jensen and Danielle executive produce through their... so they'll both be executive producing it, maybe? Chaos Machine Productions. Oh, cool. After Supernatural wrapped its 15th season, we knew it wasn't over. Well, I sure as hell didn't. Because like we say in the show, nothing ever really ends, does it? Okay. Well, I'd never put them two together. So they knew the first story they wanted to tell was John and Mary. Okay. The supernatural origin story. Cool. I cannot wait for this. I always felt like my character Dean would have wanted to know more about his parents' relationship and how it came to be. Ah, so that's what Jensen felt, which makes sense because he did care about his parents. I mean, they both did, but yeah. Okay, Supernatural, created by Eric Kripke, originated on the WB and is the longest running sci fi genre series in the history of an American broadcast television. Of American. That's cool. I think I did know that, but that's cool. Oh, the CW made 2 previous attempts to launch a Supernatural spin off with Bloodlines and Wayward Sisters, both of which were introduced as backdoor pilots. Oh, were they episodes in the show? Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah, I think they were episodes in the show. Oh, okay. If the Winchesters goes forward, the CW will have both stars of Supernatural back in the fold. Oh. Padalecki is star / executive producer of Walker, which I've watched the first episode of that, and that's really good. Well, from what I can tell, it looks good. Which is headed to a second season. Cool. On screen, Jensen Ackles will be the next high-profile role as Soldier Boy on season 3, The Boys. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I knew that. That's what I said before. Okay, so that's all we really know. So, obviously a prequel series to The Supernatural, which I cannot wait for. It's going to be narrated by Dean / Jensen Ackles. It's going to be focused around John and Mary, how they met, and obviously, their origin stories, which hopefully it goes back to when they were kids, because I don't really think we got to see John and Mary when they were young, like, firstborn. So that'll be cool. I cannot wait. So, prequel, narrated by Jensen, focus on John and Mary, possibly bringing Sam back in at some point. Or, well, Jared, whatever you want to, Sam, Jared, I'm sure you probably know Sam better. Cool. So that's this article. I mean, you can go and read the article if you want. It's on Deadline. This is the one that Jensen actually shared on his Instagram. So that's why I chose to go to this one instead of all the other ones, because I feel this might have a bit more reliable information on it. So yeah, I cannot wait. There's no dates as of yet, but it sounds like writing and possibly filming or production at least has already started. It'll be cool if they can bring back John. I should be able to remember his name, but I can't because I love him as an actor. He's absolutely phenomenal. Let's hope that it goes forward. If you like The Supernatural, make sure you watch this because hopefully that'll encourage them to push forward and make it, because I want to find out more. Like, I wish Supernatural didn't end, but it has to end at some point. So, and I'm glad they ended it where they did, because they couldn't really go much. In my opinion, they probably could have went one more season, and that would have been with somehow beating the darkness, but I'm not sure how they would have. And then they could have maybe eased us into the ending instead of it just being so sudden like it was, and it felt kind of cheap in a way. But if you look at it as if you really look into the last episode, you can see why they did it that way. But I'm not going to go into that. The Winchesters, let's hella hope that they get that together and it goes on for a long time. Like what? Maybe not as long as Supernatural. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but I'm excited. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you're having a good day.